layout for you for the Wild Whisper design team, as well as for the Scrapbooking from the Heart series. So for Scrapbooking from the Heart, the theme for the month of February is appreciation. And so I had this really kind of funny story that I wanted to tell, and it was going to go into a traveler's notebook. And then the more I thought about it, I actually thought, no, I'm going to make a 12 by 12 layout with this. And I think that this works really good for our theme of appreciation, because it's one of those moments where it was kind of funny as it happened, and one of those, oh, I can't believe I did that moments. But, long term, as you look back on it, it's really an opportunity to take some time to remember to appreciate the things that we have. So I'm using the 6 Feet Apart collection from Wild Whisper, and actually the picture is also from Wild Whisper. So you can see here I'm just kind of creating with my watercolors little kind of smushed areas of color. I picked the yellow because that comes from the picture, and then the navy blue is just kind of a nice kind of grounding dark color to complement the yellow. And so just from how I'm doing this watercolor, where I'm putting these watercolors, you can see what my general design is going to be. So I'm kind of creating these areas of color that will peek out behind some triangles coming from either side of the paper. And the photo is actually just a screenshot of a meme that Heather and Susie created, talking about hoarding. And so it was really pertinent at the time, because this was early on in the pandemic when people were hoarding everything from toilet paper to all the Lysol and wipes and anything that said disinfectant on it. And what else did we hoard? Yeast and bread, so many things. But anyways, they came out with this meme that was inspired by me because I couldn't get adhesive for my ATG. I I knew I was running out of it, and so I went to put some onto my Amazon because my Michaels was all out of it, and the Michaels that kind of next closest to me was all out of it. But it was close to that time when everything was shutting down and we weren't leaving the house, and so I couldn't go shop around and try and find it in different stores. I don't know in the States if Walmarts carry it, but here they don't. So I wasn't able to find it there. So I went on to Amazon, good old trusty Amazon, and I put it in my cart. And it was about 11 o'clock at night. So I found some that said it would be there in a day or 2 days, I think, which means it's probably in the warehouse here in the province that I live in. So that was really great. And then I asked my husband if there was anything that he wanted to add to the cart before I went ahead and paid for everything. And he said, yeah, I'll double check in the morning and, add a few extra things that we might need. And literally by the time we woke up in the morning, it had gone from being a 2-day shipping time to a where we don't know, you'll get it when you get it kind of shipping time, which started happening more and more because people were shopping online and things were selling out. And it was not a staple. And this was right around that time when they were not guaranteeing that you would get anything that wasn't a staple. So I didn't have any adhesive, and I ran through everything, all those little spare adhesives that you get if you go to a crop and you win a package, or just the everything you collect, pop dots and glue dots and foam squares and random double-sided tape that I had that I didn't even know I had. I went through everything. My stash is completely gone of any kind of adhesives because I just couldn't get anything. Even our Walmart actually ran out of all the crafting adhesives, tape runners, everything that they normally sell. Everything was gone. And so I was just using whatever I had on hand. And at one point, I even just was reduced to some Scotch tape. I just wanted to be able to hold things in place, knowing full well that at some point I would be coming back and gluing down all the bits and pieces on all of these layouts, but I wanted to create and I didn't want that to stop me. I went through wet adhesive, like the kids' Elmer's school glue, everything. Anyways, thought that that was funny, obviously, and they created this meme that says, keep calm and don't hoard, and then at the bottom, it says, unless it's adhesive, you should always hoard adhesive. And they're not wrong. Always hoard adhesive. And I did have a hoard. I had a pretty good stash built up. And I've mentioned it a few times here that even when I am just, running into Dollar Tree, Dollarama, places like that, I will pick up a couple of their just really cheap tape runners or double-sided tape or glue dots, those types of things, because I really do like having a little bit of a stash. I do like to hoard that, and it comes in handy. And this is one of the times when that would have come in handy if I had just a little bit more. And eventually I did get my tape runner, and I also have the absolute sweetest, most wonderful friend, Cynthia, who saw my video, heard me talking about this, and dropped off some of her ATG adhesive that she wasn't using. She doesn't use her ATG anymore, so she gave me what she had, which was absolutely phenomenal. And remembering that is why I thought this would be a really good layout to kind of talk about appreciation, because on one hand, it's funny, it's comical, and it's definitely going to be a memory that I'm going to look back on and be like, oh, they teased me and it was funny. And I even put it out on like our local mom groups and some of the Facebook scrapbooking groups that I'm in, that I need tape runner. It's funny, and I can look back at it kind of in a lighthearted way, but it really did kind of reinforce to me as well that it's important to take time to just really appreciate the things that you have, because even something as small as adhesive, glue, something that I'm using for a hobby, when I ran out of it and couldn't get any more, was a disruption in my life. Having to, kind of put scrapbooking to the side was a bit of a blow, because it was just another thing that I couldn't do that was part of my normal and part of my comfort zone, and another way that this pandemic kind of threw a wrench into my life. And so in the grand scheme of things, is it a huge deal? Maybe not. Scrapbooking is definitely a luxury for me and a privilege, and something that I feel very fortunate to be able to do. So if I have to put it on hold, I'll survive. I will, be able to wake up every morning and be okay, kind of thing. But it's an outlet for me, and it's therapy, and it's something that it's me, it's my time. And so to have to kind of give that up over something silly like adhesive, it was a little bit hard, and I was very frustrated. And so, it really, looking back on it, it's really an opportunity to remind myself to just really appreciate the things you have when you have them, because it's easy to take that for granted, and it's easy to kind of prioritize things. We try really hard in our lives not to take our kids and our hubby and our friends and food on the table and a roof over our head and those really big things. We practice not taking those for granted, but I think it's important to also pay attention to all of the little things in our lives that actually have a big impact, and not take those for granted either. And a lot of us learn that lesson through this pandemic, and we're still learning it, because we still don't quite know what the future holds for us. So definitely that was kind of the takeaway for me, and the point of this this layout, and it was really kind of fun and therapeutic to put this all together and remember that. And then the other way that this layout kind of represents appreciation for me is the appreciation of the people who offered to help out. It's definitely something that I think this pandemic has brought out in so many people, is that willingness to step up and help, no matter how big or small it was. Adhesive is pretty small in the grand scheme of things, but it just meant so much to me to have Cynthia drop something off on my doorstep with other little goodies too, or for Tracy to offer to send stuff out from Nova Scotia. It just was a really nice gesture, and I want myself and my kids to be able to look back on this experience and remember that so many people stepped up to help in so many different ways, big and small, and to really appreciate that they did that. And that is my layout for this week. It's a pretty simple design, but I actually love how it turned out. I love that really big title. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. There's that word appreciation again. I really do appreciate you guys. All of Wild Whispers links are down below, and you can use my discount code DTGen to get 10% off of your next purchase. And as well, all the links to everybody else who's scrapping from the heart today. Until next time, happy scrapping. Bye.